See, you push the camera.
I messed it
You
up.
just push the camera. It's all crooked now. You had one job. I'm just kidding. It's fine. Okay, so you got to read all these questions. You realize that, right? No pressure. I just see the judgment coming from my peripherals. These lights are mighty toasty. Testing? Okay. What's up, my shuggies? Ashley here, and welcome to Ashley Talks. So today is just going to be episode 1 of Getting to Know Me, and I went ahead and put a poll on Instagram and asked if some of you wanted to ask me questions, get to know me a little bit, and figure out what this channel is going to be all about. So if you are interested in this podcast, then just keep watching. All right, you guys, so this channel is something that my husband actually suggested for me to do because I do have another YouTube channel, which is Ashley K Collections, and that is just a culmination of everything that I love, from cleaning to home decor, home goods, shop with me, reviews, and hauls of fashion, and everything in between. But I actually wanted to start doing something a little bit more outside of that box, outside of that scope, something a little bit more in depth, and because we as a couple are always into constant and never-ending improvement, he suggested that maybe I start a podcast, and I thought, what better way to do that than to start that right here on YouTube, which is somewhere that I came a few years ago as a hobby and fell in love with it and have been growing my channel ever since. So this channel is going to be an open dialogue, very casual, very informal, and discussing all sorts of things from stocks to interior design, friends, love, fashion, anything you want to talk about. All topics, almost all topics, are a go on this podcast. So without further ado, I'm going to go over a few of the questions that you guys asked to get to know me and this channel a little bit better. Thanks to my lovely husband who has the list here. He will start with whatever question you want to go with first. Gotta find the list. Just airdropped it to him, but now he has to find it. Did it really go that far?
No, I got it.
Okay. You're just deciding?
So, what are your thoughts on reality TV, people, and drama?
So this question, I feel like I could take that a few different ways. How would you interpret that question? So my interpretation would be reality TV is one thing, but when they say people and drama, do they mean in life or in reality TV?
Reality TV.
Within reality TV? So reality TV, in my opinion,
And how it affects real life.
and how it affects real life. Wow, you can really tell I succeeded at pageants. Maybe that's why I didn't win. Can you tell I'm a visual learner? I may have you repeat the question. No, I'm kidding. But seriously. Let's just break this down. Reality TV, I think it can be used in a good capacity in some cases, but unfortunately, like a lot of things in life, I feel like as a society and what it has become over the years is probably not the most mentally healthy example, especially for young people. I think some of the shows out there have just become so over the top, unrealistic. It creates an unhealthy perspective and an unhealthy scope of what life is supposed to be, or what it should be, or what they should be within those parameters, physically, mentally, emotionally. And I just don't think it always dictates the right or healthy message. So, as an adult, I think you can kind of read between the lines and figure things out for yourself. It's easier to kind of keep yourself on track. But for people that are younger or easily influenced, I just think it can be very dangerous. I find, kind of piggybacking on that for myself with social media, there was a period of many, many, many years that I did not have any social media whatsoever. And in fact, the only reason I have it is because of YouTube. And a lot of people thought that was bizarre and weird. A lot of people thought it was admirable. I got all sorts of comments about it, but I do think that with that being said, when I did decide to get it to help connect me with everyone on YouTube, I think it's something that can be great if you're consciously making a concerted effort to maintain that healthy parameter. And by that, I mean there are certain things I won't follow or I won't search or I won't look at because I want to make sure that I'm protecting myself from the things that are out there that can influence all of us. You know, no matter how strong-minded and strong-willed you are, things do influence you. And if you know, psychologically over a period of time are watching, listening, even if it's on a subconscious level, with time, all things are going to eventually make an impact on us. So I think it's important that you're cognizant of what it is that you're doing. And if that's something that you know triggers you or makes you feel some type of way, you have to be disciplined enough to know if I'm going to have it, then I'm going to either limit the amount of time I look or what I search or who I follow so that you don't, you know, feel bad about yourself or trigger yourself to go into a place of, you know, negativity and depression and all the other things that can come with that. So reality TV, you know, can it be a good thing? Sure. You know, is it right now? I mean,
It's popping.
he thinks it's popping. The only reality TV I really get enjoyment out of or that I watch is The Housewives
90 Day Fiance.
and 90 Day Fiance. Which she's obsessed with. But I guess I'm the reality TV I'm talking about, I think can be a little more controversial and a little bit more like the fake reality TV shows. You know, the things that kind of, I don't know, just ignite that unhealthy, unrealistic expectation. I think that that's just pointless and it can just take you down a rabbit hole. But yeah, the housewives, seeing them bicker back and forth about, you know, who had the fake designer bag and the silly things that they debate about and the trips that they take. And I mean, yeah, I think it can be entertaining. It can be fun. But again, all things in moderation. So I hope that answers your question. I guess the second part to the question was, how does it affect people? Was that the question? And I think it can affect all people. It just depends on your mindset. It depends on what you're going through in life. If you're going through a rough patch with a guy, you know, it's probably not best that you watch 90 Day Fiance. You know, maybe that triggers you. Maybe that makes you feel bad about yourself or bad about your situation. So, you know, I think that there's a lot of things to take into consideration. And at the end of the day, it should always be about what's best for me, because what we want and what is best for us, I've said this 1,000 times, usually is not the same thing, you know? But that's my take on it. Next question. Well, that was a long-winded answer, huh? I have to shorten up my responses. What? Is that a stupid question?
No. I was just listening to what you said.
What? My long-winded response? Sometimes when I get on a tangent.
So, what are your favorite trends, and what do you think will be trending next?
My favorite trends right now. Oh, well, I guess loungewear. That's my favorite trend. Trends are, for me, they're like 50-50. Sometimes I think that's great. I love it. Like leather everything. Yes. Leather pants. Great. Spike heels, mesh heels. Love it. Loungewear. Why weren't we doing this a decade ago? But trends that are in and out trends, like extreme trends. What are some extreme trends? When they were wearing the patent leather pants.
I never wore patent leather.
I would hope you wouldn't. But I'm just saying things like that. Things that are extreme trends. Super square-toed shoes. Not happening. You're never going to catch me in that. some people, it looks great on them. But things that are extreme, when they were doing color blocking outfits, like red pants with pink tops, I would see people, you look amazing. Me, you ain't catching me in red pants and a pink top. It's just not going to happen. I don't like extreme in today, out tomorrow trends. I tend to like or gravitate towards things that are more classic, or just things that speak to me, like leather. When they started wearing leather shorts, leather pants, leather dresses, leather everything, I'm here for that. What I think is going to be trending next. Well, clearly we're going back to 95 with the calf socks and the sneakers and the shorts and the t-shirts. Yeah, we're going, what was that, like 95? Whatever that was, we're going back to those days. Disneyland fanny packs. Yeah, it's everything, you know.
It's because of COVID.
It's not because of COVID. I think just everything rotates. Denim skirts. I used to wear those in high school. Freaking Abercrombie and Fitch denim skirts. They're coming back. They're cool. Uggs are probably going to start coming back again. But those are a negative. That trend is not happening. You will not catch me in Uggs. Those days are over. But what do I think will be trending? Obviously, effortless will continue to trend, especially with everything that we're going through. Boyfriend will continue to trend. Like boyfriend oversized shirts, boyfriend blazers, boyfriend, the more comfortable, effortless looks. Flats. It'll be so acceptable to just heel it's like heels are out. Everyone's wearing cute sneakers, cute flats, because it's just more about, I think, the comfort. High waist, I think, will continue to trend. Sweatpants. I feel like people are just going to continue to come out with lines and lines and lines of activewear and loungewear, and I'm here for it. That is like, you can saturate that market all day long and I'll still support it. Walmart, Target, Katie with Luster Lux, whoever, doesn't matter. J-Lo and Rihanna, I'm sure they'll be, jumping on the trend too, because for a minute it was everyone having a makeup brand, which they're still kind of going down that route, and that's great. But I definitely think that the whole lounge line is going to continue to grow because it just makes sense. And everyone looks good in it. And it's unisex, it's universal, it's easy, it's affordable. It's like a win-win-win. That's my long-winded answer to that question too. Next question.
People would like to hear about you and I's progression and how you knew I was the one.
Why are you looking at me with such serious side eye? That's a loaded question too. It's like a 3-parter. So the first part of that question was the progression of our relationship. Well, this was a very hot topic between a lot of people. For those of you that don't know, I guess now's the time to break and get a snack, because this might be a real long-winded one. We met doing the one thing I told everyone I knew I would never do. And that was date online. I had so many fights with people about the fact that I was old school and that was stupid and it was insincere and that's not how I wanted to meet someone. But I found myself, as I got older, and by older I mean early 30s, I found myself going out less and wanting to go out less and gravitating towards staying home, and that just didn't feel comfortable to me anymore at that point in my life, which made it even harder for me to meet people. And I would go out to, it kind of progressed into going to dinner and drinks with my friends and then going home. That was my going out. And that, of course, that's hard to meet people. You're going to dinner and you're sitting at a table with your friends like a grown adult. How are you supposed to meet people? So they continued to heckle me until I got online. And I did it like I would do it and then delete it, and then do it and then delete it, because it was stupid and people would say terrible, awful, disgusting things to you. and just make you lose all hope in humanity. I should have saved some of the things that people said to me. It was just... Anyways. So at that point, I was on Bumble. I think I was talking to 4 different people.
4?
Okay, by talking to, I mean I matched with them. It wasn't like I met them or anything. And by matching, you match with a bunch of people, and then because I'm like OCD, I would go through those matches and then look at their pictures again and be like, no, that's sketch, delete. And then I'd go through the list again. And so I would just dwindle this list down until I had 4 people, which is probably why I was single. I was just knocking people out for no reason. And so I got down to these 4 people. One of them was a doctor. One of them was Jack. One of them was... Oh, what did he do? Something with like IT in the government. It should have ran then. And then the other one was in my profession, medical device. Oh, yeah, he was a good one. So long story short, you message with these people. They seemed halfway intelligent. You're trying to get to know them. I don't know. I just didn't really know what to do. So I kept doing what I said, going through these pictures, looking them up, Googling them, putting them, just doing all these things to try and figure out more about them on my own. And I don't remember what happened with you and I. I think we just chatted a little bit, but...
And you never responded.
Was it about Easter?
Yeah,
maybe something about Easter, and he said, I remember you saying you were going to church, and I'm like, yeah, right? Like, this guy is just blowing me a line, trying to, tell me what I want to hear. And I think that's when I was just like, whatever. This whole app thing is stupid. They all lie, whatever. So I think I just, either took a chill or I don't know. Feels like forever ago. Anyways, the last thing I remember is I was supposed to meet up with the doctor. I'll never forget that part. And it was maybe an hour or 2 before, and he messaged me, real man there. Yeah, he messaged me that his electric, the electric in the whole building, the multi-million-dollar high-rise that he lived in had went down. Something with his car that he couldn't get out. Whatever. I don't know. Again, stupid. And I'm like, you know what? Just forget this whole app. This is ridiculous. So time went on and I was at work. And so because I was further away at work, it made me match with him again. And that's when the red flag went up. And I said, see why I don't like these dating apps? This guy's a catfish. I already matched with that guy, so I went back to my messages, and your message was in there, and I said, see, he's a catfish. That makes no sense to me. And so I messaged, I think I screenshotted it, because, we need our proof, and I messaged it in our old conversation, and this was when I left him hanging from Easter, and said something like, just so you know, someone's pretending to be you, just to see what he was going to say. And then what did you respond?
I had no idea.
Yeah, I have no idea what you're talking about. Yeah, typical answer. I have no idea. So I'm like, yeah, great answer. I'm feeling all warm and fuzzy now, And he's like, no, seriously, I have no idea, how that could have happened. And I'm like, well, I guess because you're good looking, someone just took your picture and it has all the same information because you left it very vague and just made a second Bumble profile and are trying to catfish these women. So that's what got us talking again. And once we started talking, I think you asked me if I wanted to meet up. And of course, I'm like, no thanks. You're definitely a catfish. And he said, well, I think you're a catfish. Why did you think I was a catfish? What did I give off that made you think I was catfishing you?
Because your pictures look fake.
My pictures look fake. I don't remember what pictures I had, but nonetheless, I guess they appeared fake. So I ended up agreeing to meet with him. And being the CIA agent that I am, I made sure that I went to where we were meeting 30 to 45 minutes earlier because I wanted to stake out where this guy was coming in because I was not about to be caught off guard again like I was. And I wanted to make sure he wasn't catfishing me because if I saw him, because I knew he was in his scrubs from work, if I saw a man in scrubs walking in and he didn't look like that picture, I was going out the back door and he was going on block with everyone else in that list, and that was going to be the end of it. So I got there and this guy outsmarts me. I still don't know how you did it. Comes through a different door, like a secret door through the kitchen or something, and comes up from behind me because I'm sitting there. I can see everyone in my path, and I don't see any guy in scrubs. And he comes up from behind me, and he's like, "Hey," and I'm like, "Oh my
That's why I picked the spot.
He's so sneaky, this guy. And I'm like, "You do exist." And he's like, "You do exist." And I was like, "Well, you look like the picture." And what did you say? He was a man of few words that night. I think he was a little nervous.
Yeah,
You were super nervous?
I barely eat my food.
You could barely eat your food? So we both realized at that point that we weren't being catfished. I still was extremely apprehensive. I thought either he had a family I didn't know about or he just was hiding something. I was like, there's no way that this guy isn't catfishing me with his looks. He has a good job. He's educated. He comes from a good family. He's calm. He's patient. He's a Christian. And I'm like, of everything I've experienced in my life, I just didn't believe it. I mean, it was sitting in front of me, but I just didn't believe it. And I think we've all been in those situations where we feel like, oh, this could be a good situation. And because something bad happens within that, it kind of taints our view on that. And it makes us scared to believe the truth because sometimes things appear a certain way. And then in time we realize, oh, they're not. And that's a disappointment. So I didn't want to be disappointed. I did the best thing every girl does, and that's push them away. I would not let him walk me to my car. I would not let him barely hug me. Goodbye. I was just like, I don't know yet. And I remember you said that you would text me in the morning when you, I think, went to work or got up.
Because it was past your bedtime.
It was past my bedtime.
You got past your
He did keep me past my bedtime, and that was what, like 9:30?
3 o'clock.
It was like 9:30. It was, I guess I didn't get home till like 10:30, I think. Anyways, I was like, okay, yeah, like heard that before. And so I didn't think anything of it. Woke up, checked my phone, and it's like a message from this number, and I'm like, who's texting me at 6 a.m? And it was him saying like he had a good time and he would like to do it again soon, blah, blah, blah. However, he was going on vacation to Brazil for his birthday. And this is why we're pushing, because I'm like, yeah, okay, there's your family in Brazil you're going to visit, And we had to get another SD card because I'm talking too much. Okay, so where were we? You were going to Brazil to visit your family. So, you were gone for what, 2 weeks?
5 days.
5?
Yeah, like a week, maybe less.
I think it was like 2 weeks.
It was like 2 weeks.
Anyways, it did. You were trying to come back early. So I said, yeah, there you go. This guy's going to Brazil. I've heard that before, yada, yada, yada. He'll come back. He'll forget about me. He'll never talk to me again. That'll be the end of it. So I happened to be going on a trip with my girlfriends to New York and was telling them while I was there, he was messaging me, sending me pictures, and I'm like, this is a live picture. CIA. Let me click the picture to listen to what's going on in the background. I know y'all have done this. So I click the thing and I hear a woman's voice like, un, dos, tres, or I don't know, in another language. And I'm like, he's on the trip with another woman. And my friends were like, you're an idiot. It's just the person taking the picture. So, me being the cynical person that I am, I was like, there's no way. He's probably already had this trip planned with some girl. He's probably just going and like they're already breaking. Like I had this whole thing planned out in my mind. Like there's no way that this guy is being truthful and honest. I'm like, he's still on Bumble, like all of this stuff. And I stupidly said something about that. I don't know why I did. And he sends me which I didn't even know you could screen record, a recording of him deleting the Bumble app. So at that point, that's when I knew, or I felt that I knew, that he was being genuine. I was just being cynical and crazy and psychotic. And I just needed to give him a chance, give him the benefit of the doubt. If he proves me otherwise, that's fine. So at that point, I felt like I was going to be open-minded to the situation and move forward with the relationship. And when he came back and we saw each other, it was like a week or 2 weeks, however long that was. So we met April 24th. And then by the end of June, we were engaged. So it was a very quick progression of the relationship from the time that he got back, which was the beginning of May. So May, June. So 2 full months. And as soon as he came back from that trip and we spent time together, we talked incessantly. Any extra time he had off of work, we would just, even if it was meet at Chick-fil-A to eat or, meet at the hospital and I would bring him food and he would bring me coffee, just any time to get to know each other. We really didn't do a lot. I think that was something that really helped expedite the relationship. We just talked. You don't always have to be doing something or going out, because a lot of times when you're going out, you're really not getting to know that person. You're being social, you're, and being entertained. So I think that us just talking, we would go on walks. He would have to charge his car. So we would meet at the charging station and, walk for an hour while the car charged, just anything to get to know each other on a deeper level. That's what we did. And he said, he wanted to be serious. He wanted to get engaged. And I still was, a little bit apprehensive. Heard that before in my life. Okay, like things happen. So I said, if that's how you really feel and things are going this way, then put your money where your mouth is. And so he called me on my bluff and he said, let's go look at rings then. And we did, and found the ring that I wanted, and we both, just knew that that's what we were going to do. We made that decision together, and then he asked for my hand in marriage, the day you did it, I think? You had, a little bit of an open dialogue with my parents, but, seriously asking. I think it was the day that you proposed, right? Yeah. I could tell he was so nervous. There was no hiding that. And it was right before my mom's birthday, which is June 30th. So a few days before that, and we got engaged. And he said, whenever you want to get married, we can get married. That's totally your decision. So I found a venue that I liked, and they had 2 available dates. 3. One was right around Thanksgiving. One was right around Christmas. And then the next was in April of 2020. And I said, listen, if we're going to do this, let's just get married. I'm not here for a circus. I don't care about that. It is what it is. Marriage is more important than the wedding. So let's just do it either Thanksgiving or Christmas. And doing it at Christmas gave us a month longer. It was the day after Christmas. That gave us a month longer. So I said, let's just go with that date. It ended up being on a Thursday. And I had 6 months, 5.5 months to plan a wedding. Probably one of the hardest things I've ever done in my entire life. even though it was small. It was extremely stressful trying to work and do that. And getting married is just, it's a business. They don't care about the emotions behind it or how stressful it is. It just, they're getting paid. It's a great industry to be in and to make money in. And so planned the wedding, got married December of that year. So we met, got engaged, and got married in 9 months. April, May, June, July, August, September, October, November, December. Yeah. In 9 months. And a lot of people were very supportive, and a lot of people said that we were absolutely crazy. And, valid points on both ends, depending on, who they were in their given circumstances. Of course, everyone's, going to feel a certain kind of way because of their life and their decisions. So, we said whoever supports us, great, and whoever doesn't, that's okay too. But we're grown adults. We've made this decision, and we're going to stick with it because it's both what we want. And it was definitely worth it. It's by far the best decision I've ever made in my life, and everything that I've ever been through, it was beyond worth it. So for those people who were in my shoes, do not give up, because it's out there. You can't give up hope. No matter how old you feel you are, no matter how hurt you feel you've been, no matter how many bad decisions you feel that you've made, if you believe, you have hope, you have faith in your God, in your, whatever it is you believe in, it will happen. You just keep working on yourself, keep making good decisions. Remember to always do what's best for you, not always what you want to do, and things always come together. So that is the story of the progression of us.
And we survived Corona.
And we survived Corona. Oh yeah, P.S. The day after we got married, we went on our honeymoon. We came back and bam, we're in quarantine. And it was great for us because he works all the time, 6 days a week. I work full time. And we got to spend a lot of time together. It was wonderful. I know it was hard for a lot of people. I think it brings a lot of truths and issues to the surface of your life and your relationship. So for a lot of people, it was damaging and revealing. And, for us, it was just, I don't know, it was an interesting first year of marriage, but I think it was great. We got to spend a lot of time together. What was the second part of her question? How did I know I was making the right decision? I would say the biggest indicator that I was making the right decision was his consistency. And I don't remember where I found the quote, but one of many that resonates in my mind was something that I was telling myself all the time, especially in dating, that words are who we want to be, but actions are who we are. And when I, was saying that in regards to other people, I was also saying it to myself to remind myself that words are who we want to be and actions are who we are. And when his actions were consistent with his words, I felt that I owed it to him and to myself to give it a valiant effort. And I did, and it completely paid off. And, from the consistency of talking to me, seeing me, not hiding me from his friends or family, looking at rings and having no problem actually buying a ring, not just saying things, but doing things. It sounds super cliche, and it probably sounds super stupid because people say, that all the time, that, words are words and actions mean everything. But it really is true. I think it's hard for people to differentiate that because of our emotions. It's easy for us to justify, a situation or justify someone doing something wrong to us. But the truth of the matter is that actions do mean everything. Actions are who we are. And with his actions and his consistency with his actions and his actions always matching up with his words, I just felt like, that was an amazing quality in him. And I thought that I would be stupid to not give that relationship 100% of an effort on my part. And, you were very open with my family. He was never hesitant with anything. If I asked him to have a conversation with my parents because they're worried about me rushing into this, no problem. Transparency, didn't care about any sort of transparency, whether it was talking to somebody, his family, his friends, passcodes, any of that stuff. Complete 100% transparency. Wasn't against anything. How do you feel about counseling? How do you feel about premarital counseling? How do you feel about church? How do you feel about this? Just complete and utter transparency. I think, again, it sounds cliche, but that's why people say that, because those things are so true and so important. And those basics are the most fundamental thing that I think I followed in my relationship and deciding that that was the best thing for me. And it was. It's the best decision I've ever made in my whole entire life. He's doing a victory dance. Okay, next question, Pony.
Where do you get your design inspiration from?
Yeah, there were multiple people that asked that, right? So my design inspiration, assuming this is coming from everything that I post on Instagram and my other YouTube channel, I do get a lot of inspiration from the internet. I used to, when I was younger, take magazines, cut out pictures, literally keep them in a spiral bound notebook and just use those as inspiration. But of course, as time has gone by, things have become more futuristic, more electronic, more tech savvy. So there are things like Pinterest, Google Images, Instagram hashtags. Those are a few of the social media based things that I use for inspiration. I also love to go into model homes. I love to look at regular magazines. So they'll have 17 magazine or Vogue magazine, any sort of tangible magazine as well. I think it's important to not just keep one base. So not just tech or not just tangible. It's good to have multiple sources in multiple formats. So for home decor, I love using Pinterest. I love looking at Instagram hashtags. I love Google image search. I love going into model homes and just looking around and getting inspiration. I love going to my favorite stores. Even if they're places that I feel I can't afford, I will still go there and look, because there isn't any reason you can't get inspiration from there, and there isn't any reason you can't mimic that look for less. A lot of these stores nowadays especially want to manufacture items that are looking like they're high end, but for a smaller price, like Home Goods. Obviously going to Home Goods is really nice, but they're really more product driven. They're not really a source of inspiration for me unless I'm shopping and I find one piece in specific and decorate a whole room around that, which, rarely happens, but it can. And for fashion inspiration, I definitely, like I said, the magazines, Pinterest, looking in stores, window shopping, just like the furniture stores, just kind of looking at what's fresh, what's new. People have blogs. I love to follow blogs because they're consistently posting about the same thing. So if it's a fashion or design blog, they're always posting about that. Specific items or blogs or hashtags like high-end versus low-end, or steel, like they'll post a restoration hardware couch and then one that's $5,000 less, things like that. I think you can get great inspiration from, because like I said, everyone loves something that's high-end. Everyone loves something that is designer, but not everyone wants to spend the money or can afford to do it. So I think it's a good source of inspiration to find things like that and utilize them. And all of those resources are absolutely free. I also love, say for example, we go to the Restoration Hardware outlet. they have for free the Restoration Hardware catalogs. You can get as many as you want. So I usually take one of each, and you can use those as coffee table books. You can use them as inspiration. You can use them to look through. I've also ordered coffee table books from Amazon, Target, online, TJ Maxx, Marshalls. And of course, they double for a coffee table book and also for a source of inspiration. So if you like, one of them that I saw the other day was all about organization. If you like organization or you like black and white interiors, there's literally coffee table books that are black and white interiors. And so you can use them for inspiration and also double and use them as a coffee table book. So tons of free resources to utilize out there. Those are a few that I love, that I use consistently, and they're tried and true. All right, you guys, I feel like that was the longest time I've ever recorded a video. I hope you guys enjoyed this. Please leave me comments down below on any other videos or topics you want to talk about. This is an introductory video, a really nice, quick, easy way to get to know me and what I'm about. You also are able to check out my other YouTube channel with decor inspiration, hauls, reviews, all of that stuff. I'll leave everything linked down below. This podcast will really be used to talk about a variety of topics. Like I said, I would love to do one on horoscopes, one on stocks, one on friendship, personalities, emotions, literally anything and everything almost I feel is safe to talk about on this channel. So if there is something in specific you want me to discuss, you want to talk about, either send me a topic, send me questions, and I am keeping an ongoing log and notebook of all of that stuff so I can continue making podcasts for you, so that through this podcast we are continuing with our constant and never-ending improvement on ourselves so that we make ourselves the best possible version. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe to my channel, and I will see you guys in my next one. Bye.